ABC in Columbus. It is an early season showdown. Number 5 Oklahoma, number 2 Ohio State. And coverage kicks off on ABC at 7:30. Oklahoma's got that 11-game win streak. Quarterback matchup, J.T. Barrett with a new offensive coordinator, and Kevin Wilson and Baker Mayfield, who saw his offensive coordinator rise up unexpectedly to become the head coach this summer in Lincoln Riley. I love these matchups that we get in the early season that this era of the college football playoff has produced. You got to get that big notch on the belt. And that'll happen tonight for either the Sooners or the Buckeyes. 2nd and goal now. Brown checks down to Olsen. Spin move, and once again struggles to get to the line of scrimmage. Christian Campbell.
Good defense, good tackles in the open field by the defensive secondary at Penn State, forcing little to no gain.
Todd, 45 plays now for the Pitt offense. You made the point. This drive has to produce something on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and it can't be a field goal. I really believe that because, again, Penn State's offense is so explosive. They don't like to settle for field goals, and so you've got to get a touchdown. If you can go in 14-7 at halftime, knowing that your defense kind of settled in and overcame the turnovers, that's a good first half of football if you're Pittsburgh, but it's essential. I mean, all that ball possession and time of possession and more plays doesn't mean anything if you don't finish with points.
Got to get something here and keep away with that time of possession with Saquon Barkley and McSorley and all the talent.
And all that is exactly what you want to do, but you just, in a situation like this, you got to get points, and you really want 7 and not 3.
So here is that situation. The opportunity. The must-have, says Todd. 3rd and goal. And the cascade of sound of 106,000. Brown to the end zone. And incomplete. Arojo Lopes covered by Grant Haley.
Lopes had a step. That ball's just a little bit overthrown by Max Brown, and you got to settle for the field goal. Good defensive possession. After the penalty, the critical penalty on Cam Brown, they were able to overcome that and get 3 nice stops there deep in your own territory.
See that 0 for 2 under the line of Alex Kessman. Very strong leg, but the redshirt freshman had a struggle in his first game last week. This is a 28-yard attempt. And that's got to feel good for the young man. And Pitt finally on the board. 14-3 our mark right now.
Yeah, you had to get points. Pat Narduzzi encouraging his troops. You wanted 7. You'll take 3 because you have to have points. Again, your game plan offensively has worked. You've run the ball, you've possessed the ball, you've eaten up clock, you've limited their opportunities offensively, but you're still down 11.
Mike Gesicki, the All-America tight end, has performed at that level today, Todd.
Well, again, this Penn State offense likes to put defenders in a bind and make them choose. And with a guy as talented as Gesicki, he's not your most physical point of attack blocking tight end, but he runs like a wide receiver. And because of that, he creates real problems for a defense. Saquon Barkley, everybody knows about him. But you just can't forget all the weapons that they have. And Gesicki and Trace McSorley on the same page on both of those touchdowns.
2 first-quarter touchdowns for Gesicki. So today and last week marks the first time since 2008 that Penn State has scored 14 or more points in the first quarters of 2 consecutive games. Pitt settled in a bit. Defense did their job. Long drives by the offense. That was 15 plays and 77 yards to finish with a field goal. Saquon Barkley is in on kick return, and he will take a knee. Been some great offenses through the years. Of course, Todd, your national title team with yourself at quarterback, Kurt Warner, McCloskey at tight end, and then the 94 team. I know you got great respect for Collins and the guys.
Yeah, well, absolutely. That was an outstanding offense. All three of those guys were first-round draft picks. But you look at what they've got this year at those three positions, and you throw in the wide receivers that all three of those offenses have had. There's Kachana Carter, former first-round draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, comes to a lot of Penn State games. Very involved with the program here, loves to come back, lives in Florida, but comes back to Penn State quite often. He was actually originally right down the street from Ohio State. Grew up in Westerville, Ohio.
And here's the modern day great Saquon Barkley, 11 yards on that carry just over a minute to go before the half. Penn State with one timeout remaining.
One timeout, just approaching a minute. A lot of time for Trace McSorley in this Penn State offense.
First down, McSorley. He's going to tuck and run, and a good cut as he picks up about 8.5 yards. Want to remind you that coming up in moments, it'll be the State Farm halftime report. Kevin Nagandi, Mac Brown, and my man Booger McFarland. They're going to get us set with everything that's been going on in college football today. Take a look at that Iowa State thriller. Second and 2 under half a minute to go before the half, and this is complete that time to Jawan Johnson. That'll stop the clock, move the chains.
Penn State's going to take a shot deep down the field here. Maybe this play right here. You've got Gesicki who can run. You've got Deshaun Hamilton in the slot.
Here's McSorley. That'll leave 11 seconds remaining before halftime.
Well, right now you're thinking about, depending on your field goal range, maybe one more completion, two more at the most, two quick ones at the most, to try to give yourself a chance. Last week, Tyler Davis kicked a career-long 47-yard field goal in the opener against Akron. That was bad weather, rain, beautiful day today. Might even be able to extend that out a little bit.
There is Davis. Let's see if they give him a chance here. They only rushed 3. And he threw it to the outside of Hamilton as 6 seconds remain.
Tell you what, all in all, for Pittsburgh, if they can hold here, pretty doggone good first half defensively. They overcame a couple turnovers by their offense in short fields, and they've held this offense to 14 points so far.
McSorley going to step up and launch it downfield. Batted and picked off by Dane Jackson. That thing was floating for a moment with a whole lot of chance to cash in on.
That's why I kept saying so far, because you just never know. Penn State did what you have to do. Throw that thing up, see if you get a tip ball. And Pitt comes away with the interception.
14-3, number 4 team in the country. The State Farm halftime report is next after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
For having someone to come. Nobody out there did what you did. It's so easy. Just freaking put the number, man. And your freaking ugly picture sucks. That ain't mine. You don't receive no messages, no nothing. I downloaded it. How the freak do you make me use a pinger that doesn't receive no messages, no nothing? You're freaking stupid. It ain't about having an account. It's about having paying stupid like shit. I downloaded a new page.
Flacco gonna play or what? What's going on? Flacco will be playing this the entire preseason and training camp with that back injury. He will be back under center for the Ravens. CBS.com/NFL for CBS All Access.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know since when this is my fault. I don't know what the freak is your problem, man. I ain't gonna say nothing to you. You don't just acting retarded.
Presented by Dr. Pepper. We haven't seen a back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner, Danny, since Archie Griffin. Lamar Jackson making his case here in the first 2 weeks of the season. How about 500 plus? Presented by Dr. Pepper. We haven't seen a back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner, Danny, since Archie Griffin. Lamar Jackson making his case here in the first 2 weeks of the season. How about 500 plus yards of total offense in Louisville's 12-point win over North Carolina? You know what might be most impressive about it? Last year he got off to a statistical start that was, off the charts like you've never seen before. But this year he's done it against better Power 5 opponents. Last year was Charlotte and Syracuse.
We'll be back with more action after these messages.
He's going to be in the driver's seat. We already saw the odds from Vegas come out. I think it was 5-1 to win it, which is unheard of for a back-to-back guy. Now he's going out there putting a stamp on what he did last year. Now this season, the difference
You got it?
is to finish strong if he wants to win that back-to-back. And I think the knock on Lamar Jackson last year,
You got it?
more athlete than quarterback. Maybe that wasn't quite fair enough, and I think he's sort of dispelling that a little bit. First 2 weeks of this season, he's calm, he's composed, he's in control of that offense. He really looks tremendous. Don't forget, Bobby Petrino is the best quarterback that we've seen in the collegiate game. Again, your code is Lamar Jackson's season as he had. Bobby Petrino wanted to develop him even more as a passer, and you saw some results again today against North Carolina. If he takes that next step in the evolution of being a quarterback, not just an athlete playing quarterback, he's going to be close to unstoppable, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm telling you, Nick, he reminds me of a taller, a little bit skinnier Michael Vick. The way he flicks it with his wrist, the way he can make those moves, he is electric. So watch out for Lamar Jackson. He might be the guy to go back-to-back.
Jalen Hurts has been bandied about as another Heisman contender as we check out the top 25 scoreboard. Number 1, Alabama. Not really having a hard time, Danny. Jalen Hurts playing very well against The league, you should
but, a lot of teams sometimes you see struggle against weaker opponents after a huge game like Alabama had last week against Florida State. Nick Saban is not letting that happen. There's no chance of that. They've been in complete control since the opening kickoff of that game, and I think now's the time it turns into a stat game and to get guys some backup, some young players to get some experience. Jalen Hurts 12 of 13 through the air, 7 carries, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. This one's so lopsided. Tua Tagovailoa, the 5-star recruit, getting in a little bit at quarterback for Nick Saban's team as we transition now to Pittsburgh against Penn State. And this has been a weird one, Danny. Pittsburgh dominating time of possession. Only 22 rushing yards for Saquon Barkley. And Penn State leads Pittsburgh by 11. Yeah, I mean, Pitt's actually doing a pretty good job hanging in this game, considering Max Brown, their quarterback, has 2 interceptions in the first half. But if they can control and keep that ball away from those all the offensive firepower that the Nittany Lions have, maybe they'll pull off the miracle of the day and give me that cover as 3-touchdown underdogs. Yeah, I don't know about that right now. 21.5-point favorite is Penn State. And I think the takeaway here for me, Penn State, a legitimate national title contender. In a first half where you got nothing from your Heisman Trophy contending running back, Saquon Barkley, for the defense to step up the way it did. An 11-point lead, because if you look at the stats, you would think Pitt was up 14-3, not Penn State. All right, you better slow your roll down just a little bit. I like Penn State as much as anybody, but don't forget, Pitt without their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada, left off. Max Brown is not the quarterback
there for us. Win. At Purdue, win. Home against Michigan State, most likely a win. Then at Indiana, probably a win. And then October 21st at Penn State, that could very well be a game that decides participants in the Big Ten title game.
Without question, it should be. And this Michigan team, because there's so much youth on the defensive side of the ball, those players against a lighter schedule from now until that game you mentioned, they'll get more comfortable in Don Brown's scheme. They're going to get more confidence because winning breeds confidence. And that can be something that you can't teach confidence. It can only be earned. And those players are starting to get it right now.
Can you guys please toss the scoreboard back up here? Want to take a look at the Virginia Tech game. Tech up 17-0 right now on the Delaware Blue Hens. And let's spend a second and discuss Josh Jackson, Justin Fuentes, freshman quarterback, so impressive last week against West Virginia, getting the job done today again against Delaware.
The Hokies are legit in the ACC. I think they're contenders to win the ACC. Everybody talks about the three teams out of the other side of the division in Florida State, Clemson, and Louisville. But Virginia Tech and Miami on the opposite ends there of that division, Virginia Tech is a player for sure in the ACC.
Tennessee, the number 25 ranked team in the country, up 21-0 on Indiana State. It really does feel like Butch Jones pulled a rabbit out of his hat on Monday night against Georgia Tech, maybe saving his job, saving Tennessee's season here. They loom as a contender in that SEC East, which is wide open.
That's the biggest key of it. They might not be the strongest team out there, but the SEC East is wide open. Again, it goes back to confidence. They start winning, they start believing.
You all set for tomorrow, Week 1 NFL Sunday.
Can't wait.
You know what you can do, Danny. Yep. All your local NFL on CBS games. Can't wait for the Steelers at the Browns on CBS All Access, cbs.com/NFL.
A season with Navy football. New episodes Tuesdays at 10. Only on Showtime.
For a place, a people, an idea. Marines fight to win. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Oh no, did Lucky get out again?
Stay down, boy. Don't worry, I'll take the new Buick and go up far.
Lucky! It's the third time this week.
Introducing the reimagined 310 horsepower Buick LaCrosse. You'll find any reason to get behind the wheel.
It's the third time this week.
Introducing the reimagined 310 horsepower Buick LaCrosse. You'll find any reason to get behind the wheel.
Pay no interest for 72 months. Plus, get $750 down payment assistance on the 2017 Buick LaCrosse Essence when you finance through GM Financial.
Welcome back to the SEC Live halftime show presented by our great friends at Samsung. Danny, earlier we mentioned Florida Atlantic covering at plus 33 at Wisconsin. What is the second leg of the Danny Cannell parlay, which I may or may not be invested in?
All right, one of my favorite things to look for is an opportunity where you're going to see a team with a letdown. UCLA, we saw the huge come-from-behind win against Texas A&M. Guess who they're playing this weekend? Hawaii. Watch out for Hawaii in this game. Nick Rolovich, one of my former teammates for the Denver Broncos, has this Hawaii program turned around in the right direction. This is the ultimate letdown game, too, for the Bruins. They're still thinking about last week. It was a short week of practice for them. I think Hawaii's going to keep this one close to cover.
You just hit us with some excellent handicapping analysis there for this Hawaii game coming up here. And the Hawaii Warriors, we check this out here, down 7-0 right now against Josh Rosen and the UCLA Bruins. Danny, Josh Rosen coming off that ridiculous second-half performance last Sunday night against Texas A&M.
You know what else I love about this one is I had taken a flyer on Josh Rosen for the Heisman.
Look at you, like King gambling the first.
Everybody had been talking about Sam Darnold, the other QB in the city of Los Angeles, but Josh Rosen, he reminds me sort of, not the way he plays, but the way he talks, of Johnny Manziel. He's got the swagger. He doesn't mind facing controversy. He likes to get out there at the hot tub in a dorm room earlier that was out on Instagram his freshman year. So he's pretty brash and cocky, but he also backs it up with his play, as we saw in that game.
And you know, the PC police coming out at Josh Rosen. Do you know what I wish I could have pulled off my freshman year at Fordham?
Hot
tub in my dorm room with lots of co-eds. That would have been great.
Should have come over to Tallahassee and hung out with me.
I can't even imagine what that must have been like. And how about that game tracker? CBSSports.com. All the information you need, as we saw there.
friend Keith Jackson, for that matter, and this is what the band did at halftime. Pretty cool. Back with you in Fayetteville as we have a flag down on the field. We'll check that in a second. Gary, you look at the stats, and you said it earlier. It was supposed to be pound hog. Starting at the 15 instead of way out where they would have been without the penalty is Kenny Hill, the quarterback. And he throws it out in the flat. Immediately going to be about a 2-yard gain. It's fumbled out of bounds. We check in with Allen.
Guys, I talked to both coaches, and after those 37 yards rushing, Brett Bielema told me we have to get back to playing Arkansas football. He said if the team plays in this game like they practice, he has no concern, but they didn't play to that level. For TCU, Patterson said he liked how they stopped the run, but he wants them to do better on the play action and the screens and quit turning the ball over on offense.
Good stuff, Allen.
Yeah, that turnover, that's why he didn't get to run those plays at the end of the half.
Exactly. When they had timeouts to work with. Hill fires, far side, nice throw. Catch, first down. Jalen Rager got the first. Now they got better field position. 27.
Good throw, true freshman on true freshman. Rager against Cameron Curl right there. Good throw, good coverage. Accurate throw did. Look how slow that Arkansas substitutes their players in. Since TCU substituted, Brett Bielema says, I'm going to take my biggest, slowest guy I got and trot him out there.
That's the nose tackle. Bijan Jackson came in for Austin Capps. That did slow down TCU to the point where they're finally getting the snap right here. Play action, quick slant, nice throw again. Another first down to the arse.
One of the things that all receivers love is that football right in their face mask. They watch it all the way in. It's like a catcher in baseball coming right at them, and they make the catch.
And with the opportunity to pick up first downs, they just keep hurrying it up out to the 49, 8-yard run by Hicks. Santos Ramirez brought him down, but they can just keep going tempo right now if they don't change up personnel. They do have a tight end in there in Cole Hunt. Second down and 2. Hicks cuts it outside, going to end up a yard shy thanks to Santos Ramirez. If Brett Bielema and Paul Rhodes had a whole bunch of number 9s, they'd have quite a squad, but he comes up holding his hamstring a little bit.
So let's see what kind of gut check here for this Arkansas defense. Theoretically, the Brett Bielemas of the world believe that this spread offense is trouble on short yardage. Let's see if we can show that.
I would think this would be all Kenny Hill by himself. Nope. Gave it to Hicks. Whoa.
He got bounced back, though. I think he made it.
I think he did, too. Greg Greenlaw hit him and kind of spun him around, but he had already had forward progress for the first half.
Again, an offensive line's a veteran crew. Big. And they're matching up well and creating those creases inside.
Darius Anderson comes in to the TCU backfield. First down at the Arkansas 48-yard line.
No flinch that time.
Full motion. As first half trends, Kenny Hill, not overwhelming numbers, but he was pretty efficient with the exception of that interception. Austin Allen did not have a great game, though. A great first half, though he did have a touchdown pass. And there's the problem.
Yep.
Arkansas not being able to run the ball.
And I think the problem really started with the first pass.
Taking downfield, and it is intercepted. Quick pass, quick score. Mike Gesicki from Trace McSorley. Trace McSorley hits a seam, and look at him go. And here he is on another RPO, picking up the block and into the end zone. College football on ABC, presented by Walmart. Number 4 team in the country, up 14-3. Penn State taking on Pitt. One of the great rivalries renewed a year ago, as Penn State will start off on offense to get things going in the second half. In that first half, Trace McSorley, you see him trotting out now, he missed on 6 of his last 7 passes. Pitt ran 46 plays to Penn State's 24. In fact, Pitt had 2 15-plus play drives, but only 3 points on the board. Joe Tessitore and Todd Blackledge, glad to be with you. Holly Rowe down on the sidelines. McSorley only had 44 yards passing in that first half. Barkley with 22 yards rushing. Todd, I think if you said to Josh Coughlin, defensive coordinator for Pitt, you're holding them to those numbers, you got to feel pretty good. Down 11.
You feel great. I mean, first of all, you limited their shots, their opportunities, and then you got a couple big stops.
Here's Saquon to the outside, where he's so capable.
You know, one of the things, when you have a back with the ability of Saquon Barkley, your wide receivers are inspired to block in the perimeter. Watch this block by DeAndre Tompkins. Not a very big guy, but that block got about 12 more yards for Barkley. These wide receivers are conditioned with Barkley, knowing if we do our job, he could take it to the house anytime.
Here he is again. First down for Penn State, just like that. 2 carries and already past midfield. Saquon Barkley.
You just can't leave big voided areas. This is too much green grass for Barkley. Too big of a hole. You have to get bodies in every gap. And it can't be a body turned sideways. It has to be a body with his numbers facing the line of scrimmage and constrict the space as much as possible for a back like Barkley.
Barkley steps out. Miles Sanders comes in, well-hyped, number 1 overall recruit in Pennsylvania a couple years ago. McSorley over the middle and beyond Gesicki's reach.
Well, they had him. Had Gesicki singled up on a smaller safety, Dennis Briggs, who's only 5'10". And McSorley's just a little bit off with the throw. Again, this coverage scheme, a lot of man-to-man. You leave your corners on an island in this defense. Safeties are covering guys coming down their area of the field, and a lot of one-on-one coverage. So far, Pitt's been able to hold up with that coverage.
2nd and 10 as Sanders remains the back. Looked like he was going to go jump pass for a moment there, and then McSorley decided to tuck it. Now there is the McSorley family. Dad Rick played at Richmond. His mother, Andrea, has the sunglasses on there. I'll tell you, she's very, very smart in the fact that she brings food to the offensive linemen at the hotel every Friday. She wants her baby to be protected. She says, I'm going to take care of the big boys. You take care of my guy.
Yeah.
3rd and 6 now. It's Rick and Andrea's son. Looks over. And Barkley flanks him back in the game. That never had a shot. Great penetration by Salim Brightwell.
See, this is what I think you have to do with Barkley. You've got to hit him in the backfield as often as you can. Great penetration, got inside the block of Brendan Mann, number 70, who was trying to pull out. More times you can stop him before he gets a head of steam going, the better off. That was an excellent play on 3rd down by Brightwell.
Young man from Paramus Catholic in North Jersey, was a high school teammate of Michigan's Rashawn Gary. That was a heck of a team they had. Henderson, fair catch pitch inside the 5. Wow. Put your heels on the 10, young man. Give yourself a chance. Hit on offense when we come back.
So much has been made, and the fans have been waiting to see the 3-4 defense of Arkansas as they switched it up this year with Paul being the new defensive coordinator.
Well, that's because those talk shows, you got to talk for 11 months for. Believe me, I got to go on them all the time.
5 wide receivers in an empty backfield as Kenny Hill on a 3rd and 6. It looks like Randy Ramsey wants to bring some heat off the near side corner for Arkansas. He's almost to the track stance.
Going 5.
Hill throws first down. Turpin at the 20.
Turpin in the slot. He always lines up to the right. Paul Rose said we always have to know where he is. He's a tough matchup, man to man.
Just so quick into his breaks. Got good hands.
Kevin Richardson is really a safety. It's a tough matchup. Covering the fastest guy, or one of the 2 fastest guys that play for TCU.
TCU back in the red zone. That's Turpin in motion. He's going to set up now in the backfield for a second. Look at our progressive pylon cam. Our beautiful day here with Pitt and number 4 Penn State. Mike Gesicki, one of his 2 touchdowns on the day, had an excellent first quarter. Pitt settled into this game. You know who didn't settle down? Rock the Panther. Rock the Panther. What are you doing to our progressive pylon cam, my man? Give it a break. No need to step on it.
Did Rock change jerseys at halftime, too?
He went to the home retro blue as his team dons those retro vintage early 80s road whites that you played against, Todd Blackledge.
We talked about it in the break. Just kind of a mental error that time on the decision to field that punt by Quadri Henderson. Yeah, there's a chance Penn State might have been able to down it even deeper, but when you catch that ball inside the 5-yard line on the road, you really put your offense in a bind. And now it's 2nd and 10, and you got the big student section behind the offense, and that's where the most noise in this stadium is.
See if Max Brown can dig him out of that hole. Here's a good run by Olesen. So it'll be 3rd and short as Grant Haley had to make the tackle. Holly?
One injury note for the Pitt Panthers. Their right guard, Brandon Hodges, that graduate transfer from Texas, limped to the locker room right before the half, and it does not look like he's returned to the field to play. Alex Buxer, Richard Jr., number 78, is in right now, guys, for the Panthers in this critical goal line situation with their backs to the goal line.
Buxer was suspended for last week's game, had a DUI arrest this summer. But they consider him one of their 3 best overall linemen. But he may be shaking some of the rust off. 3rd and 2.
by Penn State. He did have his deeper receiver, Chris Clark, number 87, with a little bit of space. He wanted to throw it quickly. He was looking to throw it right now to Flanagan, number 88, and Flanagan was well covered by Grant Haley. And Max Brown ends up throwing the ball away, but the switch in field position is going to be critical on this punt exchange.
Ryan Winslow's going to have to sky this thing, and Tompkins is already setting up shop at about the 43. Third year as the starting punter is Winslow. And he backs him all the way up to the 40 where Tompkins reverses field, catches a seam, and a good return past midfield off of a decent 4.4 hang time punt from Winslow, but a nice job from Tompkins.
James Franklin told us since he's been there, they have not had a return man that really has put any fear in their opponents. They think they have that in Tompkins. Had a 61-yard punt return for a touchdown last week. That was the first time since 2008. Derek Williams returned to punt for a touchdown against Wisconsin. And they really believe Tompkins gives them that kind of a threat now in their return game.
Penn State starts on the plus side. Remember, they had a short field to open up the game. For how long can Josh Conklin, the defensive coordinator of Pitt, hold these stars in check? McSorley with time over the middle. Saquon Barkley, touchdown, Nittany Lions. I guess not long was the answer.
See, they missed him on this similar kind of play a few possessions ago. This time, Barkley didn't miss him. He's going to slip right out and run right by Brightwell, the linebacker. There's no safety help in this coverage. He's the number 3 receiver to the field. That means it's a tough matchup for a linebacker on a guy like Barkley. And a big play, an explosive play for the touchdown.
46-yard touchdown catch, Saquon Barkley.
Your corner takes the outside receiver. Your safety takes the number 2 receiver. That means a linebacker has to cover your number 3. And when your number 3 has the skill of number 26, you got problems. Home run for Trace McSorley.
SEC on CBS is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, Dr. Pepper, State Farm, and by Wheels Up. 14-7 TCU. Gary Patterson's Horned Frogs in front by a touchdown. Gary won his 150th game last year as a head coach at TCU. And with that, we'll bring you to our Aflac trivia question. Who's the longest tenured active head coach in the NCAA? We'll get the answer for you in a few minutes. And Turbin on the carry. Gary's been around the TCU program 20 years, 17th year as a head coach, and 10 double-digit win seasons over those 16 years. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, but right now, it's a critical time for this Arkansas defense. You know, it's easy to say I'm going to rotate my guys. After a 15-play drive and a 3-and-out, do you dare put your second guys in at this point?
Kenny Hill wants it all. Going to the end zone. One hand on his hip.
I would be irate if I was a head coach for a receiver to stick up one hand on that throw.
This looked like a sure touchdown.
I mean, this turns him around. Ball, oh, come on.
The freshman, Jalen Rager.
I would just be irate. Everybody, 10 guys do their job, and Rager tries to be Odell Beckham Jr.
ABC, presented by Walmart, is brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA. and the United States Marine Corps. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Todd, I was so happy for you, partner, to see the reception that you and your 1982 teammates received on the 35th anniversary of celebrating your national title team, and I know you treasured that moment.
It was great. You know, we had over 50 guys down there on the field. There were several other guys that were in town last night for a get-together that couldn't stay for the game. One of them was our tight end, Mike McCluskey, whose son's playing for Villanova, and he was off to a game. But it was really great to see so many of those guys.
And in classic Todd Blackledge form, folks, because he is a modest guy and a humble guy and very appreciative and grateful. The thing you've talked about most the past couple days is actually the 1980 game against Pitt. That interception you threw in the loss when Pitt beat you 14-9. You can't escape some of those moments.
You know, there was a memory that I'll never forget, and it helped me as a young quarterback. We had just converted a 4th and 8, and I was trying to throw the ball away. And in the last minute, I hesitated, tried to get one more completion in instead of killing the clock. Carlton Williamson, who was a great player, went on to play for the 49ers, intercepted it. I got buried under a pile of Pitt players. That Pitt defense was phenomenal, but I learned, if I'm going to throw it away, I got to throw that thing up in the stands. You know, when I played, you weren't allowed to just spike the ball and throw it into the ground. You had to actually throw it out of bounds, and I never made that mistake again.
You know, you make me laugh. I want to show people the end of that play, because, I mean, they needed to send a search and rescue team to find you after that pickoff. Here's Olsen. Let's go back. I want to show folks the end of that interception when Todd had to make the tackle in the game at 80. Somewhere at the end of this ends up being my partner. Yeah. But the Pitt crowd just gets all in there to play. I mean, Todd, you were down with the search and rescue for Todd Blackledge.
It was like 35 seconds left in the game at that point. The game was over. That was the play of the game. And, and then not only did I have to get up at some point, but then I had to run across the field back to our sideline, which wasn't much fun either. But you learn lessons, and, you know, I remember that as vividly as the throw to Garrity in the championship game in the Sugar Bowl.
Here's Brown now. To the near side, and able to get that complete to Jester Weah.
Out route, single coverage, good timing, good route, throw it to the outside. It's just good throw and catch against man coverage.
So a first down for Pitt, as Barkley had the touchdown catch moments ago for Penn State. He's looking to answer here.
And you see why when we talked about in the first half how important it is to try to get a touchdown instead of field goals, because of how explosive this Penn State offense is. 3 points just don't do you much good.
The jet motion really opened up things for Olsen, and he takes advantage inside the 30. Good, hard run by Quadri Olsen.
Yeah, that jet motion, sometimes it's just eye candy. Sometimes they hand them the ball, but you just want to create distraction. Watch as this play opens up. Now, the right tackle, number 55, is going to do a great job getting to the second level. Picks off the linebacker, Kabinda, and then good hard running by Olsen.
Olsen, who left the game earlier today, had to get that left shoulder area taped up. He's got 91 yards rushing now, 32 of them coming there.
At 91 a week ago against Youngstown State. Sure to go over that in this ball game.
And they will go with French this time, who wiggles his way for 8. Holly?
A huge development for this Penn State defense, guys. Their best defensive player, Marcus Allen, number 2, is on the bench with an injury. He's got ice packs on his neck. They've been fitting his left knee for a new sleeve. It does not look like his return is imminent. In his place, number 4, Nick Scott. The defensive coaches say he sets the tone for our defense. He is the heart and soul of this group. See how they play without him.
Allen had 110 tackles last year. That's the most for a Penn State safety in 15 years. 2nd and 2. Moss down to the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal, Pitt.
Well, once again, we're in that same position where Pitt needs to cash in with a touchdown. They've got a nice drive going. They're running the football. They've got 127 yards rushing now against this Penn State defense, but they've got to get touchdowns because of the fact of the big playability that this Penn State offense has.
1st and goal. Here's Moss, and he was met at the 4-yard line by Apke.
Apke had a little help. Kabinda hit him also. They both met him in the hole. Big time play there on your goal line defense. Watch 40 and 28 combined. And Moss goes backwards.
Olsen checks into the game here on 2nd and goal.
This is a good down for play action, 2nd and goal. 3rd down, they're expecting pass.
Interesting to see
Play clock's down.
in the backfield, the play clock running down.
Call timeout. They were slow getting out of the huddle. Again, remember, this is Max Brown's 2nd game as a Pitt quarterback. Sean Watson, the offensive coordinator, his 2nd game as the Pitt offensive coordinator. And they were forced to call a timeout there, and it's probably smart. You hate to waste a timeout, but you certainly don't want to waste this scoring opportunity inside the 5-yard line.
Let's look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Capital One. Of course, Penn State sitting there at number 4. We're going to have a showdown later tonight right here on ABC between Ohio State and Oklahoma. You got a read on that, Todd?
I don't really. I mean, I really like Baker Mayfield, you know, and because he reminds me so much. He and Trace McSorley are so similar, just in their stature. They both play with a chip on their shoulder. He didn't play very well at home against Ohio State last year. I think he will be highly motivated. I think Ohio State has the better overall team, you know, so I think it's going to be a heck of a matchup. And if Mayfield has the kind of game he's capable of, it could be a real doozy.
I love that offensive line against that Ohio State defensive line. 2nd and goal for Pitt. After the timeout, Olsen now lines up as the lone back here. Too tight shift to the near side. Motion is Henderson. They're going to give it to Henderson, and he's going to be tackled for a loss as Miller and Haley were on him.
Well, I'll tell you what, Penn State guessed right, because had they given this ball to Olsen, it would have been a touchdown. Watch the hole open up here. Instead, they give it to Henderson on the sweep. Penn State has good outside pursuit and leverage and stops that play for a loss of yardage. Olsen had more room inside than Henderson had outside. And now it's almost definitely passing situation on 3rd down.
Brown to the end zone. Incomplete. These missed opportunities for Pitt, as they haven't converted now on 6 of their last 7 third downs.
Manny Bowen came unblocked on a blitz, and that's why Max Brown had to just get rid of the football. He didn't have time to set his feet or let somebody open. Manny Bowen right up the middle forced the early throw, and Penn State stops it again.
After 0 for 2 last week for the redshirt freshman kicker, now 2 for 2. The young man who trained as an amateur boxer through high school, showing his punch today.
That was a spark for sure. It's 2nd down and literally inches. Just shoot it outside the 15-yard line.
And boy, did Arkansas's defense need this drive.
And every lineman and tight end they have on the roster out there, and he still didn't get the first down. It's kind of slow to develop. It's a little bit of a delayed handoff. He'll come out. He's done most of the work. Devon Whaley will come in.
Now Brett Bielema has to think forward here. What does he do if he doesn't pick up this one?
They don't have a good field goal kicker, at least we don't think so.
Not in this direction, at least.
Now they've got the fullback in there. It's actually Cantrell now. He goes out on the left side. They're just going to go straight ahead with Whaley. Still on his feet. It's 1st and goal, Arkansas. Fresh legs of Devon Whaley.
Well, that's what the Arkansas fans have been waiting. Run right behind Ragnow, and they did it. Ragnow teamed up with the young freshman, helped him a little bit, and got to the second level. Just a linebacker.
Arkansas giving TCU a little taste of their own medicine. They go tempo here. Really only got a yard, though. Nice close from the backside on the tackle. Matt Wilson, outside defensive end / linebacker, made the stop. It's second down and goal. This time Arkansas will follow.
Remember in that game a year ago, Arkansas had first and goal from the 2 and came away with nothing in that game. They missed a short field goal in the third quarter that really changed the feeling of that game.
Second down. Whaley behind Austin Allen will get the carry. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Nick Orr.
Right off the edge. It's almost like a field goal attack right there. Coming from the edge. He gets right off it, times it out, meets it in the backfield. Wow.
And now your threat of play action's gone away. It's third down.
Yeah, they're going to wait till the fourth quarter to decide what to do. Man, I got a feeling this feels like an Army-Navy game this is going. I thought our first game we should elongate.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get to overtime.
Yeah, it will.
End of 3, 14-7. We'll return to Fayetteville after this message.
There is last year's Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year and one of this year's top Heisman candidates. Saquon Barkley has our lone touchdown here of this second half. Of course, he joins the long list of notable running backs to come through this stadium here, Tom.
Outstanding backs. I had the good pleasure of playing with Kurt Warner on that list. Was the best player that I ever played with at any level, in the NFL or in college. And Saquon does a lot of the same kind of things with his ability to make jump cuts and not lose speed as he changes directions laterally. Kurt was great at that as well.
Barkley is back on kick return. This will go for a touchback. That leads us to our Aflac trivia question. As we ask, Aflac! Saw that big list. Who's Penn State's all-time leading rusher? I mean, you got some Hall of Famers to choose from, some Pro Football Hall of Famers to choose from. And Franco Harris was here this weekend.
Yeah, he was here.
Did you get a chance to visit him?
I did not. We missed each other at an event, but Franco's up here quite a bit. Very nice man. I did spend a little time with him in Canton during the Hall of Fame festivities in August.
Beautiful new facilities there in your hometown. Miles Sanders will start this series at running back, flanking McSorley, and he gets the delayed handoff, and he fumbles the ball. Ball is out, and it looks to recover from Sanders.
Boy, and that's exactly what the Pitt defense needs at this point. Their offense hasn't been able to punch it in. If they could have given him a short field, dangerous play for the young running back, just didn't secure it. Good hit by Adowie coming in from the outside, and Penn State very fortunate there.
So Barkley comes in on 2nd and 13. McSorley, a lot of time to think about it.
Good coverage.
Let's check in with Cassidy in the studio. Should be fun to see. Interested to see what the freshman J.K. Dobbins looks like. Sensational running back for Ohio State. He was excellent in week 1 against Indiana. Went for 181 yards that night. 3rd and 13. McSorley gonna tuck. Try to get back. But Elijah Zeiss was waiting on him. Couldn't get that cutback.
That's a really good play by Elijah Zeiss, because that's an open field one-on-one tackle. McSorley is a pretty shifty runner when he gets out of the pocket. And this forces the punt. That's an outstanding play by Zeiss.
And maybe an opportunity here for Pitt. James Franklin says, listen, we'll take directional stuff away from Henderson all day long. They don't want to see the ball in his hands. Dangerous number 10.
They were missing a guy in their punt protection there. Had to run on late.
Here's Gillikin to punt. Henderson back at the 20. And look at him go right up the sideline, past midfield. And that is exactly what Pitt wanted to see.
See, I think the fact that Penn State had a guy run on the field late, it disrupted the timing a little bit. The punt was low. It was a little off the numbers. And Henderson, for the first time today, makes the first guy miss and turns it into a pretty good play. Did he step out of bounds? That's the question. They're going to take a look at it. It's still a decent return regardless. But if his heel was down, they'll bring this one back.
Punt return is under review.
His toe is in bounds. Is his heel make contact with the sideline or not?
Our rules expert, Bill Lamagna, can chime in here on what right now stands as a 34-yard return. Billy, what do you see?
Well, the replay officials will look at whether he stepped out of bounds or not. The key thing will be is the heel down. It appears from the view we had that the foot is down. So replay would move the ball back to that where the spot of the ball is when he stepped out of bounds.
Looks to be about the 35-yard line, in between the 34 and 35-yard line. Again, still pretty good field position for the Panthers, but not as good as it would have been out past midfield.
Ball is currently spotted on the 46 of Penn State. Bill, you feel like you got the proper video evidence you want there? That's a good shot right there, isn't it?
Down there.
Yeah, that's the shot. One of the things, too, is the ACC officials for the first time are getting a chance to use the sideline monitors that the Big Ten has at every stadium. Now, he won't make a decision, but he can talk and do advisory work with the replay official.
Now, let's clarify here, Bill, because we got ACC on the field, but we got Big Ten upstairs on replay, correct?
That is correct, sir. Tom Herbert is our replay official. I worked with Tom 11 years as my back judge, outstanding back judge, and super replay official.
So once again, this is the situation with Quadre Henderson as he was tiptoeing the sidelines for what was a 34-yard return. Of course, Henderson last year just dynamic, led the nation in combined kick return yardage, has four total career return touchdowns, a consensus All-American as a return specialist.
After review, the runner stepped out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 4 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock. 4:25 on the clock.
Well, Quadre Henderson started playing football when he was 5 years old, and despite being just 5'8", he has a lot of courage. His name means courage. His mom, Jackie, told me, don't measure his size, measure his heart. And how about this video? Little itty-bitty, the helmet's bigger than he has. He's been showing courage for about 15 years now. A lot of courage on that. Just stepped out of bounds.
I could watch that video all day long. That is great stuff. That was Quadre Henderson back in the day. Grew to be all of 5'8". First down throw, a comeback near side, Weah.
Didn't have his foot in. Max Brown threw this one a little bit too wide for Weah. They've connected a couple times on this out route. That time the timing was a little bit late. You can see Weah not able to get that 1 foot in bound. Made a secure catch, but foot on the line. Good call by the officiating crew.
Olesen, as he tries to gain a little extra yards, Cabinda with the tackle.
You know, for Pittsburgh, it just seems like they've been able to pound out yards. They've been able to run the football with some effectiveness. 221 total yards. They've actually outgained Penn State, run significantly more plays, but they haven't had any big plays, Joe. You know, they haven't had any big explosive plays out of their offense, and that's the difference in the game. Penn State has had a couple explosive plays, and Pittsburgh has not.
See number 2 for Penn State, safety Marcus Allen back in, stepped away injured a moment ago. 3rd and 6.
Movement. They'll go back 5 more. Right tackle.
Full start offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Jared Jones-Smith, the right tackle, moved early.
Tom, let's look at the Pac Life game summary.
You take a look at it. Trace McSorley, 3 touchdown passes. Penn State only 33 offensive plays compared to 59 for Pittsburgh. But the big three, McSorley, Gesicki, and Barkley, all contributing in a big way.
That's our Pacific Life game summary. And now a 3rd and 11 for the Panthers. Pressure off the edge. Brown goes down. Sharif Miller. Buckholz and the guys getting to Max Brown.
Now, that's a tough possession for Jared Jones-Smith, the right tackle. He moves early the play before, and now right now he just gets whipped on a one-on-one pass rush by Sharif Miller. It's just nothing but a speed rush. Gets to the outside. Buckholz helps from the other side. But Sharif Miller showing some speed coming off the edge, the sophomore out of Philadelphia.
3rd sack of the day for Penn State. As Winslow turns this one over, and Tompkins driven all the way back to the 20-yard line and wrapped up there. Good field flip for Pitt. Let's get that answer to the Aflac trivia question. Shows you the great list of running backs for Penn State, and we asked who's the all-time leading rusher. What do you got, Blackledge?
Well, I saw this in the notes. That's the only reason I knew it. It was Evan Royster, 3,932 yards, played in the late 2000s. Kurt Warner, my former teammate and roommate, was number 2 on that all-time list.
That's like a phone book full of notable running backs. And
No
yet
doubt.
Evan Royster wasn't on that list. He's the all-time leading rusher. That's how deep the talent has been through the years at that position here at Penn State.
That's like an all-world Aflac question.
Saquon Barkley, here he goes again and again when he gets to the outside. Watch out.
Yeah, you cannot have a soft edge on your defense. First of all, a bad job by the defensive end, Dwayne Hendricks. Number 8, got to set a hard edge. And then watch the receiver, Jawan Jones, blocking on the perimeter, and then a horse collar tackle at the end of the play. And just like that, in one play after the punt, Penn State is in business again.
19 yards plus the penalty, and they're walking it down to the 41.
Josh Conklin, the defensive coordinator, talked about trying to keep Barkley in a cage as much as they could. Set an edge with your defense. And that time, Dwayne Hendricks did not do his job, and Barkley made him pay for it.
Barkley now on the other side as he dismisses defenders.
He's just so dangerous, Joe. I mean, we've seen him come out of the backfield and catch the ball. When he runs it, you just kind of hold your breath. And we've seen the wide receivers, how they block tenaciously downfield, because if he gets to the next level, he can either run around you, he can run through arm tackles, or he has the speed to just flat out outrun you. He outran Adoree Jackson in the Rose Bowl last year for a touchdown. That said something to me.
Here's McSorley now as he keeps. Gets to the 28. Zeiss with the tackle. Yeah, Adoree Jackson is a straight line speed to the max. That's an impressive feat. Barkley taking a break for a moment. It's Andre Robinson that's in the game for Penn State. 2nd and 8.
I didn't see who caused the horse collar.
McSorley. And waiting on it was Polk. Right at the 10-yard line.
Wow, what a beautiful throw. Now this is a linebacker, Idowu, who is in coverage on a wide receiver. He's actually in position, but he has no idea where the ball is. And the ball is perfectly thrown to Polk out over the outside shoulder.
Former high school teammates at Briarwood down in Virginia. And they connect there to make it a 1st and goal for the Nittany Lions. Big number 26 is back in.
I loved what Trace McSorley told us yesterday about Saquon Barkley and his impact on this team.
Here's Barkley. as he was met that time by Briggs.
I loved how he talked about what he brings to the team as a leader and the fact that he just refuses to allow anybody to give less than 100%. He has a tremendous work ethic, and he holds everybody on this team accountable to the same kind of effort and attitude.
Penn State up 21-6. College football presented by Walmart will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. End of 3.
Just don't want to allow Kenny Hill to make a big mistake. They're willing to let him throw it first and second down or within sync of the chains, but on third and long, they won't let him do it.
I'm hoping this is just a cramp. Randy Ramsey, the guy made the tackle. It didn't look like he got up immediately and then went back down.
And a lot of people felt that Ramsey would be the guy that benefited the most from going to the 3-4.
Yeah. Let's take a look. As he gets whipped around like they got him by his own guy.
Yeah, that looks dangerous. Knee to knee.
That's very easy, man.
Johnny, I brought you up here to talk to you about my underwear.
That's very easy,
That makes sense. The breathable boxer briefs from Fruit of the Loom. They have tiny holes to allow airflow and keep you cool. And tiny holes really make that big of a difference? You might ask me that. They'll put a bunch of tiny holes in your parachute. Huh. Air really does get through there. Thanks for such a contextual demonstration. But how do I buy them online? Yeah. You just click here. Easy.
Boxer briefs from Fruit of the Loom.
College mascots. When it comes to hyping up football fans, nobody does it better. But when it comes to mortgages, they're less confident. Fortunately, there's Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. It's simple, so they can understand the details and be sure they're getting the right mortgage. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans, proud supporter of college athletics.
No one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't.
How do you get out of this?
It's the fighting spirit.
You're putting in junk.
Innocent fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, Napa, Geico, and by Chick-fil-A. Back at Frank Royals Field and Razorback Stadium in Fayetteville. Funny situation going for TCU right now. That's Andre Tolliver back as the punt return man, a 4-year starter. As Arkansas is going to get the ball back here. 11:07 remaining. They missed 2 chip shot field goals. They need to put some offense together once they return this. Adam Nunes to kick.
Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Now from the second largest college football stadium in the country, you are watching the Big Ten on ABC. Beaver Stadium, 106,000 to see Pitt and Penn State. As this fourth quarter will open up with the Nittany Lions looking for more, up 21-6 on their in-state rivals. Second and goal. Barkley lowers the shoulder and lowers the boom right into the end zone. Saquon Barkley, 28 career rushing touchdowns now.
So somebody might be saying, so what does a 550-pound squat or a 405-pound power clean have to do with football? This is it right here. Power. The elusive